This video is about 13 of my favorite productivity tools as a doctor and just a general nerd, and I think that you'll find them useful too. To start with, the Moleskine Weekly Notebook Diary and Planner has been my planner for many years. You can have a high-level overview of the different months. Sometimes I'll put things in here, and the actual page looks like this. So here on the left-hand side, you've got the weeks set out, and then on the right-hand side, you've got something for notes. For me personally, my days are split between doing general practice work as a doctor and doing YouTube stuff. In this particular case, I'm going to be doing GP for these 3 days of the week, I think. I've always just liked the Moleskine series, and that's a favorite productivity tool of mine. But whilst I'm often using my diary to plan things, I'll use my bullet journal to actually write down the stuff as it comes along. As you can see, my bullet journal is really quite messy because I just basically put in anything I think about at the time and chuck it into here. I do keep an index at the front of it so that I can try to not lose track of it. I haven't updated it in a little while, so each page is actually numbered manually. As you can see, I'm actually very loose with doing things like tick boxes and that sort of thing. Sometimes I do complete them. Let me start talking about some of the tech stuff that I use, because this stuff can be a bit weirder and a bit more expensive than buying books. So I do have this tablet called a Remarkable 2. I wrote a whole review on it about a year ago. This tablet is very cool. Basically, it uses a thing called e-ink. So even though it's an electronic tablet, you can write on it and it feels quite nice. Sort of a little bit rough like paper. Also, looking at it and reading from it is really nice too. However, I don't use it that much, to be honest, because often if I'm writing something, I'll probably just write in my bullet journal anyway. The main reason I bought it is so that I could have a tablet where I could read journals and stuff through e-ink. Then I might want to read it on this as opposed to an iPad and as opposed to on my computer. Speaking of iPad, here's this. To be honest, I mainly use it for 2 apps only. I use it for Notability, which is this note-taking app. The reason for using Notability is it lets me, with the Apple Pencil, create these really colorful diagrams of stuff. The other app I use is still Notion, because I'll sometimes use Notion here for having a look at a script when I don't want to look at my computer for a script. This is the big daddy. Probably a kind of a weird thing to say. This is the 16-inch MacBook Pro, the 2021 version, and I actually decked it out at the time with the 32-core GPU, the M1 Max, and this has been an absolute beast for video editing, for music, for doing things in 3D modeling software, for coding, like literally everything that I've ever wanted to do, you can do with this laptop. I'm definitely very happy with it. It's a pretty expensive laptop and it's also a very heavy laptop. For all intents and purposes, I really love this. Even though I do like the MacBook keyboard and often use it just by itself, if I want to use it as a desktop, I'll use this thing. You might be looking at this thing and thinking, oh my god, why is this keyboard split in half? Well, basically, this keyboard is meant to be ergonomic because your wrists, naturally, right, they don't come in like this, they actually come in straight like this. So therefore, angling the keyboard helps to keep that relaxed wrist position. This is called the Kinesis Gaming Freestyle RGB something. The key presses themselves are Cherry MX Brown keys, which are really nice to press and very comfortable. The only thing that's a little bit weird is you have to get used to trying to type on the split keyboard because it's a bit weird to start off with. This mouse is the Razer Pro Click mouse. It is a very comfortable mouse to use, and the reason I got this was because it was ergonomic. As you can see, it's got this really nice shape. The buttons are really comfortable to click. The mouse has a middle mouse button, so when you press down here, that clicks, but it's also got these side buttons as well. You can use an app called Steer Mouse, which actually lets you program these buttons to different keyboard shortcuts. So for example, the middle mouse button I programmed to something in Final Cut Pro that lets me cut all these different clips at once, which is really cool. Literally, the one gripe that I have with this mouse is that my other one died and it's only been about 9 to 12 months since I last used it, and the price is a bit expensive as well, but for someone who is always on the computer anyway, I find that this is very good. This is a journal that I recently bought called Principles, Your Guided Journal by Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is a billionaire hedge fund investor. He wrote a book called Principles. That book had legitimately changed my life. I'm going to talk about it separately at some time, but this is kind of like a workbook version of that, where it sort of goes through ways that you can assess yourself, things that you can think about to become more successful, and I plan to go through this at some point during this year. Speaking of books, this is my Kindle. I have a Kindle Oasis. This Kindle has served me extremely well throughout the years. because for almost any book that I buy nowadays, I'll usually buy it on my Kindle. The reason I do that is because it's a lot cheaper than buying a lot of hard copy books. It's very light and comfortable to handle. I've got the Oasis, but the Paperwhite I've heard is very good too, and the battery lasts for freaking ages. So honestly, I don't charge it that often. When I highlight on my Kindle, I use a service called Readwise that actually syncs the highlights with my notes in Obsidian. If you want to save your highlights from your Kindle to your Obsidian or even to your Notion pages, then you can use Readwise. So basically means that anytime I read anything on my Kindle and I highlight it, I'm creating notes at the same time without actually having to use a secondary device to do that. I've got a link in the description, so feel free to use that. So you might be wondering, what is this thing? Well, it's basically a foam roller. These little spikes on the thing help to massage your muscles. My personal trainer actually recommended it to me initially, and I thought, well, is this actually gonna work? But if you have tight muscles, actually this does help release them really well. Obviously, my recommendation is still to consult a doctor or physiotherapist before you do anything like that, to try to figure out what's going on. But I very often use this to try to get more mobility in the muscles and stuff. I'm no artist, but this thing is a gigantic Wacom tablet. Now, this is what's called a Cintiq, and essentially you've got a pen and things will light up in here and you can actually write and draw art on it. This is what a lot of the pro artists use. I have bought it and I have not made great use of it so far, but when I get to drawing more anime and stuff like that, I'm definitely going to use this a lot more. AirPods Max. This is a very nice pair of headphones. It's the one that's officially from Apple. It's got fantastic noise cancelling and fantastic noise quality. The only downsides is that it's quite heavy, so if you're going for runs and stuff, it's not the best. The only other gripe that's not mentioned in any other review is that it can be a bit tight on the ears to press. Most people don't have a problem, but for me, again, compared to the Sonys, I think the Sonys are a little bit better from that point of view. They just feel a bit lighter to wear, so you can get a bit more comfort out of those. This pen will forever be my favorite pen, the Energel 0.5. The Energel 0.5 is like mega smooth to write on. It's very comfortable because it's got this grip. I literally just spent an hour and a half in a pen store once just trying every single pen, and this was the one that I ended up trying out of like, I don't know, probably 100 pens. See, I mean, look at this, man. This is no joke. I've got like, I don't know, tens and tens of these pens. So that's it. That's 13 productivity tools and YouTube things that you'll like this video next. You can feel free to subscribe to my newsletter for more productivity tips. Otherwise, this has been Darby, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.